Hello and welcome to another mind tool inside of the High Performance Leadership Journal. If you have not already gotten your copy, you should be able to just click the link below somewhere and you can purchase it. But assuming that you are someone that has already gotten the HPL Journal, thanks so much. I'm Marq Neasman, and today I'm going to be presenting Be the Expert. Be the Expert. So in the marketplace right now, as far as culture is concerned, we are actually experiencing a time unlike any other from the perspective that there's 5 different generations in the workplace right now. And this term expert kind of rubs some people the wrong way. All right. It's been a new trend that has picked up most recently in the marketplace because the marketplace as we know it has shifted drastically from what it looked like, say, 30 to 50 years ago. Okay, it's not the same place. We compete on a global scale. And because that's the case now today, we have to get very comfortable and confident in framing ourselves as an expert, a subject matter expert. And that's exactly what you are. And that's what you'll have to be in order to not only be a high performance leader, but just a high performer in general. To compete in the top 95th percentile of your industry and to be the person ultimately that transcends a worry about whether a market is up or down or whether people are hiring or not, you're going to have to be great, better than everyone else at what it is that you do. We call that person an expert, okay, or a high performer, all right? And so ultimately, one of the things that sets a high performer apart or an expert apart is their ability to do what we call riffs. They can riff on topics for an extended period of time. And that extended period of time is anywhere between 10 and 30 minutes. If you can speak passionately about something for between 10 to 30 minutes, this is a sign, a cue that you have distinction. And that's really ultimately the difference between you and everyone else that is in your particular field or doing what it is that you're doing. You have been able to sit there long enough and gather enough distinction, enough detail that you can see clearly, or you can see things that other people can't see. All right. And that just comes from time and effort and intentionality on studying something. And so let's just set a bare minimum. If a person hasn't studied any given subject for at least 1,000 hours, they do not qualify to even speak on it, much less be an expert. Okay. Someone who's done about 10,000 hours worth of studying something, or 5 years working from 9 to 5 of 5 days a week, right? 40 hours a week. Those are individuals that qualify to be an expert in what it is that they're doing. Okay. And that makes this concept of riffs quite simple. And so from there, all that you're going to do inside of your HPL journal is you're just going to fill out these different topics, okay, that could be associated with you. So when we talk about, just keeping this in the framework of high performance leadership, when we talk about high performance leadership, I can literally break high performance leadership at least into 4 different riff topics, all right? And that's because when we talk about high performance alone, we're breaking down 3 things. And so for topic 1, I say that one of the elements we focus on is sales, all right? Because sales is important. One of the ways that you can grow into being a high performer, there are 3, which we'll share here, all right? And so there's one topic that I could speak about for a very extended period of time is on sales, all right? And I can talk about everything from trends to strategies, management platforms, and how we actually go about implementing and building out a sales pipeline, right? And obviously this is one of the services we offer as well, right? So it builds on it. Then the second thing that I could talk about, just keeping it inside of high performance leadership, it would be the second high performance leadership skill, and that is communication, all right? And I would elaborate on the fact that communication has different prongs, right? I would talk about the fact that communication looks like marketing, right? Which is the communication with everyone outside of your walls. Or I could even go into talking about the fact that communication has to do with internal affairs, okay? And what goes on inside of the organization, all right? Internal communication, all right? Which is just as, if not more important than external communication, right? Or we can even talk about how it ties into PR or public relations, right? I could spend 10 to 30 minutes just talking about communication, its importance inside of your organization, its importance inside of the framework of high performance leadership, and what that looks like at these different levels, right? And then next, the third riff topic in this case, if me being a high performance leadership expert, the third skill set that we would focus on behind high performance would be management. Okay, and here I would emphasize on the fact that the one thing we don't manage, say what we don't manage first, and that first thing we don't manage is people. But when it comes to projects, processes, even assets, right? These are things we manage. Pretty much everything outside of a human being can be managed. We believe humans ultimately manage themselves. You can't tell a human what to do. And so there's no management. Trying to manage humans leads to micromanagement, which means that we have a problem with our hiring. But this, I could spend an ample amount of time talking about, and how, and it be justified in what we see in the marketplace and the demand therein, right? And then last, inside of high performance leadership, is keeping it simple for here. We could talk about leadership, right? And how this ultimately is referring to a person's emotional quotient, right? And how that will ultimately shape their character. And character is the reason that people follow you, or that you can ultimately influence, right? And so, which is the hardest thing to do, right? And so we easily and very quickly, I put together 4 riff topics that I could spend ample amounts of time talking about. And I broke this down from the sales pipeline to sell and the leadership there and what that looks like, right? So we could go on and on, right? This is a riff. It's a topic that I'm very strong in, and you have some that you're very strong in. This is just an example of how we would go about building these out. And now when it comes to establishing you as an expert or a speaker, right, be it on your social media platform, be it on a stage where you're selling one to many, it doesn't matter the case. It's going to start with one of these topics that you'll select, and you don't need to be a master in all of them. No one even wants that or expects that, right? There shouldn't be any more than 5 to 7 riff topics that you'll be able to speak on, and that directly apply to your organization or to your business or to the purpose or the call on your life, whatever the case may be. Okay. And once you're able to list each one of those out, now we know how to go about putting together a presentation. Okay. And it won't take you long to figure this out. This is a fairly simple tool, but I encourage not only you to leverage this, I encourage you to take this and print this out. If you got the free version of the HPL journal while we had it available, shout out to you. You'll be able to literally just print this version off. And then I want you to take it and use it as much as possible among these, with your sales teams, for sure, with anyone that you have in PR, anyone that's doing any form of communicating, all right, and building on the vision that you have established inside of your organization. Highly encourage you to get this in front of them and help to establish them as an expert in the industry. Okay. This will not only shape what you do again on social media and the messages that you speak behind. What I can promise you is that this is going to be a tool again for everyone inside of your organization to begin to build their own voice. As we move closer to AI and its intricacies inside of business, one thing is going to be certain: people will always win. And you establishing yourself as the go-to is always something that is not going to, we're not trying to be irreplaceable. All right. We're trying to be invaluable. Okay. And by establishing yourself as an expert, it makes you invaluable. You can enter any room and know that you are going to add value. And that's the whole point of it all. So That's it for this one. Encouraging you to be the expert. Spend the time not only doing the study, but get it inside of the hands of your downline, or maybe even challenge your upline to create it themselves. This is Marq Neasman. Fix your crown. Rule the day.